So in today's Macro Monday, we're getting pictures of this old oak tree. We're always seeing beautiful pictures of oak trees in landscape photography, but it's time to take a closer look at what's living or not living on this oak tree. Let's jump in. Hello and welcome to another Macro Monday. So I've got no agenda today. I'm just out for a quick walk. Most people go out and walk their dogs. I'm out walking my camera. So I'm just going to go and see what I can photograph and hopefully get some nice images, whether it's living or dead, or whether it's, plant life or insect life. I'm happy whatever I get. Have a plan today, but now that I'm here, I'm looking at this oak tree. I think it's an oak tree. It looks like one. And I'm thinking of macro landscapes. So this tree is going to be host to a lot of, well, it's probably seen a lot in its time, and there's a lot of different textures on the surface of this tree. So just looking around, you can see there'll be lots of places for insects to start with, but also other things. So I might just take a few pictures, and that might be my video today. Will be this oak tree and the textures and just the landscape of the tree itself in macro. That looks quite interesting. You see in there, I don't want to put my finger in there just in case I disturb anything, but right at the back there, it's almost fossil-like. If anybody knows what that is, let me know in the comments. That'd be a lesson. Off-camera flash for getting in nooks and crannies would be so much better. I just can't get the angle with this head, which is really annoying. Okay, so I've just popped home to get a different flash because I've been trying to get the picture of the little fossils that are in here. I would say fossils, probably snail shells, but have become fossilized or whatever over the years. I don't know if I can zoom in there. Yeah, there you go. So those ones there. Now, the reason I've had to go and get a different flash is because the flash head on this, as you can see, it sits quite high above the camera or the lens. So it's quite a big difference. So when I'm trying to shoot these little things in here with my lens there, my flash head is all the way up here, and it's just not, the light's not reaching the area that I need to reach. And I even tried upside down, but even upside down it's still, because it's so far above it, it just wasn't reaching. So I'm gonna have to take the Raynox off and put on the K&F flash instead. I'll just balance you there a second. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the Raynox off this flash, and then take that one off and pack that away. And then I'm going to have to put on my ring flash. because it's going to let me get in, the light is going to get inside the tree, which obviously, because I didn't really have a plan when I came out, I hadn't really thought about that, but luckily I was so close to home, I can get home and back and change flashes. So just pop that one on quickly. So the unfortunate thing about this ring flash in particular is it doesn't have anywhere to mount the Raynox to, so I can only go with the 100mm magnification, which is not a big deal, but I would have liked to have had that extra on there, but to get the light in there, it's just not possible with the other flash, so I might have to look into getting a lower profile flash. I don't know if they exist, maybe one that comes just off the camera itself, or maybe invest in the one that sticks off the side and have a look, see whether they've got the threads in there for the Raynox. So for now, I'm stuck with this. You can see up here, just inside there's a family, well I say a family, I don't know if they're related, could be just a dying place for snails. I don't know much about snails' life cycle and how they live, but it seems a bit strange that they're all in there together. So I wonder if they've outgrown this space, whether they're too big for the space and they couldn't get out, or whether they've just gone in there and died, or whether they're all alive and they're hibernating. I don't know anything about snails, but I thought it's quite interesting that they're all just huddled up in there. So here's a little mushroom just growing off the side of the tree. That's my fingerlet, so show you how small it actually is. Grab an image of that, I'll put it up on screen. So the ecosystem living on this big oak tree is far more than what I can see even with the macro lens. But you'd be surprised what you actually can see and what's living on this tree. So I definitely suggest next time you're out and you see a nice tree, stop and have a look and see what macro images you can come up with, because there's going to be a whole host of possibilities, from just the vines on the tree to the moss to whatever insects you can find, even mushrooms and snails apparently. So here we have a little mushroom fungus. So I'm going to try and grab an image of that. I'm going to try and do a focus stack of that quickly. So I'm still using the ring flash because I think it's a little bit better, it's easier to control the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the furthest focal point that I need towards me, and then I'm going to use my hand just to steady the end of the camera, and I'm just going to move in slowly and take 4 or 5 images and stack them in post. So a little tip when you do a focus stack, handheld, it's good to follow. So you see, so for example, the mushroom, which was here. So the mushroom's here, as you can see. It's a bit hard to show you, so I'll move up here. So it's good to follow a point. So you see the wall goes back down through the thing. If the mushroom's in the middle, don't focus on the mushroom and try and get the mushroom in focus. Try and get the wall of whatever it is you're focusing. If there's nothing, obviously you can't do that, but in this instance I'm looking here and focusing here, then here, then here, then here, all the way down through the image. And then in the actual center of the image you'll have like a little cross for your, well, depending on how you got your autofocus and whatnot, focus point set up, but you'll have a point in the middle. And then just try and keep your focus point on that, and it helps you keep the frame in the same sort of area rather than sort of moving, because with macro any slight movement is quite a big movement, so it just helps you keep centered the object you're taking photos of, and then later on you can crop it in post and move it to like the rule of thirds or wherever you want it. But it's just a good little guide if you're just starting out doing macro and handheld macro. So I think I'm done with this tree for today. I did enjoy taking photos of this tree. Hopefully you enjoyed the images, and if you've got macro lenses and or extension tubes, then why not get out and get some images of the trees in your area, if you've got any, that is. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.